Welcome to the Lay in the Wood podcast, week 15 preview. I'm JT the Brick, along with Hall of Famer Rod Woodson. And normally we're together, but Rod's been traveling, I've been traveling, and now we're back and we're doing it here on the live stream. And how you doing, Rod? You had a big road trip back home. You saw your old teammates. You had a reunion. I know the result of the game was really interesting, but overall, how was the trip?
Listen, the trip was outstanding. Having the 25th anniversary of our Super Bowl 20 or 2000 team was really fun. Seeing those guys, obviously we talk and communicate, but being able to be in front of them and see their faces and talk to the guys and kind of pick up to where you left off. It's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and the result of the game was really interesting. I had a caller on my show say something really important. He goes, if you want to know why Mike Tomlin continues to have his job, amongst other things, is he wins that game. He wins games like that. And as a former Steeler and as a Ravens analyst now, just when the Wolves are at the door and people are questioning Tomlin, Tomlin puts another win like that under his belt.
Yeah, listen, first of all, I don't think Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh. First of all, they're with organizations that normally don't listen to the fan base. They kind of do their own thing. I don't think Mike Tomlin was in jeopardy of losing his job. Calling the games for the Ravens and talking through that whole game. I mean, if you're a Raven fan, it was really frustrating because of some of the calls that were made throughout the game. But then if you were a Steeler fan, I mean, you're excited because they were lacking the deep ball and the explosiveness. And Aaron Rodgers ran in for a touchdown. The oldest quarterback in the National Football League ran it in for one. And, that's something that they hadn't done for quite a long time. And they didn't have those explosive plays for several weeks. And then they had those this past week against the Ravens defense.
It blows me away, and I was at the Broncos-Raiders game, which we'll get to, but when I saw the likely catch, that wasn't a catch. I was always taught if you catch the ball and control it in the end zone, all you have to do is break the plane. So we're used to normally running backs diving over the plane, and then just the tip of the ball touches, and it's a touchdown. When you catch it and control it, even if it's for a half a second, it's a touchdown. You're calling the game live. How difficult was that call for you and your partner with the monitor and the importance of the no catch when it happened?
Yeah, I mean, listen, played 17 years, coached in the league. I think I know the rules pretty good. But what Gene Steratore said is, I've never heard of that before. I've never heard where in the end zone, I get it in the middle of the field, where you have to two steps, football move. If you're going to the ground in the end zone, I get that you're going to control the ball. But two steps, he's extending the ball out. The guy comes in on the third step, right before the third step, and knocks it out. And it wasn't a touchdown. But I've seen multiple touchdowns similar to that throughout the whole year. 2 feet on the ground. Say if he was going out of bounds. So it was Isaiah Likely was going out of bounds. He tapped 2 feet. He's going out of bounds. He steps out of bounds. The guy comes in and punches the ball after he steps out. It's a touchdown. But since he's in the middle of the end zone, he has to make a football move. I've never heard of him bringing the ball back into the body. I've never heard that in my lifetime. And I think John Harbaugh was right that the clarity of what the rule is clear as mud. You can't even see through it. You don't understand it. How do you coach it if you don't understand it?
Yeah, what's really interesting is in the Cowboy game with Dak Prescott, he got sacked for a safety, and they called it. He was out of the end zone. I didn't know the rule that the ball on a safety has to be completely past the plane. So if it's halfway on the plane, it's a safety. I didn't know that. I just thought if you got it to the plane, you're out of the end zone. No, you have to have it completely out. So, Rod, you're in Canton, Ohio, in the Hall of Fame, and you're a great media analyst. Why are we still week in and week out wondering what the call is. I mean, I know the league's trying to get it right with replay officials in the booth and television officials in New York, and we're still seeing games decided on controversial calls.
Because the calls themselves are so inconsistent. We go to an earlier play in the game with the Steelers and the Ravens where the ball gets batted up and Aaron Rodgers is going to the ground because he's trying to get the ball down so the defense can intercept it. As he was doing that, Teddy Buchanan was coming in and ripping it away from him. His knee touched the ground. They called him dead. Well, a couple weeks ago, they had that same type of play where the defender's coming down, the quarterback or the tight end had it. He was going to the ground. His knee hits the ground. The defender rips it out of his hands, and he runs it in for end zone for a touchdown. So it's like it's the same call, but two different ways. It's the same play, but they call it two different ways. And I think for that, how do you coach it? How do you tell your guys? Obviously, you tell your guys just fight to hold down and let them make the call. But you know, the way they're making calls throughout the year, the inconsistencies of that is what's frustrating. I know it's frustrating to me, so I know it's frustrating off the fan because you're supposed to have the best. And my thing is, it's 2025. We have video review. Why can't we go back to the video and look at it, open up the Pandora's box, or let everything stand? Kind of like basketball. If you sometimes you can review in basketball, and if you review and if they go back and see a foul inside the review, they can call it. Well, the NFL don't do that. Like they'll say, nope, we can't do this, we can't do this, we can't do this, we can't do this, we only can do this inside of the review. Well, if you're going to open up Pandora's box, open it up for everything. Make the right call.
All right, we'll get to how that game affects the standings in the playoffs coming up here. But the big breaking news topic, I couldn't wait to get you on to talk about it, is Phillip Rivers' return at 44 years old to the Indianapolis Colts. There is so much meat on the bone here, Rod, which goes to Canton in the Hall of Fame and the 5-year wait, which I'll get to because it plays. That's out the window. You got to add on another 5. But let's talk about how we can save the season. Typically, you need 10 wins to make the playoffs on a 17-game schedule. They were 8-2. Daniel Jones is playing on a broken fibula. Then he ruptures his Achilles. Their backup quarterback, Riley Leonard, can't play. He's got a knee. Derek Carr's not available. I thought Derek would be perfect because of the trade deadline in New Orleans. So what do you think about Rivers? He had the press conference earlier today, and doggummit, as he likes to say, because he doesn't curse. He's ready to go, man. He really believes he's going to put that organization on his back, Rod.
And you know what? I hope he does. I'm rooting for all the old players because this is a young man's game. The question that I really enjoyed is when they said, "How much are you weighing right now?" He was like, "Right now, right this moment." He was like, "I have no idea." And I was like, to me, that was so funny just to see, like because he's so true, right? He's so honest and he doesn't curse. He doesn't do any of that stuff. But I tell you what, most quarterbacks who play in the National Football League for his time of that long as he has can throw the football still. Now, my question is, can he move? What does he look like? His mobility in and out of the pocket, which he hasn't done for several years. So that's going to be interesting to see that. But I would believe that Phillip Rivers is going to be able to drop back and throw the football down the field. The question is, how much hits can he take? You know, what does he look like in and out of the pocket with his feet? But other than that, I wish him luck. And I hope he comes in and plays well. All older players.
Rod, one of the things we've done all year is we've talked about the schedule, and you play who's in front of you. You know this better than anybody, but I can honestly say I did the work. This is the toughest schedule left in football. Now, they're not bringing him in for the easy part. Listen to this. At Seattle, I don't think he plays in that game. By all accounts, I think they're trying to get him up to speed to play the following week. At Seattle, 49ers at home, Jacksonville ahead of them at home, at Houston. I mean, not only is he coming back to play, he's going into a gauntlet. Every team on the schedule's already in the playoffs.
Yeah, not only that, but the Houston team, their defense is really good. and fast. And, and obviously Jacksonville's played a lot better than I thought they were going to play this year. They played outstanding, so playing in a schedule like that and your older player, I mean, the good thing is he's seen it all, right? So I would think he's not going to get real nervous. He's going to be able to be the leader of that offense. The question is, when does he start playing? I mean, this week would be really tough, but we've seen crazy things in the National Football League, so I wouldn't ever rule it out. But I would at least give him a week to get his body ready to take some hits.
Well, this is what's fascinating. You're going to love this. He's got 10 kids, 10. And his son, who Coach Gruden went to their home to sit down with his son. I watched the video again. His son looks like a statue of Adonis. He's bigger than Phillip. His son's in high school. Phillip has a football field on his front lawn, turf, the whole deal. It was really cool to check out. And so Phillip's got 10 kids. His youngest kid is the same age, almost by months, of his grandson. So his last son and his grandson are going to play football together when they get older. He's a man of faith, as you know. He loves everything about his family. I just love when football players put the team first. And here's the big question, and I'm not going to put you on the spot with the Hall of Fame, but I like your theory on this. Do you think it's fair to restart the clock? Because if he plays a game, he's already eligible this year. He's a semifinalist. That goes out the window. He's got to wait another 5 years for eligibility. Is that like an asterisk clause that should be revisited?
Well, nobody's ever done it.
Yeah.
That's what's so crazy. Like, you normally don't wait 4 years and then come back. Normally it's like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Then you come back. I mean, he's waited 4 years. Then he said, yeah, you know what? They called me. I'm going to come back. Even though he should be going in next year, right? God, man, I tell you what, should they revisit that one? I think for Phillip, yes. I don't think this is going to be the norm for retired players. It's just not, right? Most guys, once they get 4 years out, they are done with football. He loves the game. Obviously, his 10 kids keeps him young, right? So he feels that he can get out there and go do it with them, especially his boys who especially all play ball. So he's been on the field, he's been coaching. He hasn't got that out of his system yet. But I think for Phillip's sake, because I think this is a one-off. So I wouldn't be disappointed if Porter said, hey, you know what? We're going to change the rules this time for Phillip Rivers. If he retires after this year, then he gets into the Hall, he still can get in this year or next year. So I'm good with that.
Here's what I love about this topic. So if he comes back and helps him win, and let alone get to the playoffs, it undoubtedly helps him with the Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame voters years from now are going to say, oh, my God, what a story for our museum and our hall, and the fact that he's the guy to do it. And I'm not saying he's a borderline guy, but Drew Brees is going in before him. Fact. Okay. Brady's going in before that. Peyton went in. Eli, for another podcast, Eli with 2 Super Bowls over Tom and the yards and the touchdowns. Okay, I don't want you shaking your head because I want to pivot on this question. So with everything Rivers is doing, let's assume he plays. They make him wait 5 years. If he gets him to the playoffs, can you imagine that Hall of Fame room? Everybody going, hey, I didn't know. Maybe he's not first ballot. I'm going to make him wait. That might be his slam dunk to get in on the first ballot.
Yeah, I mean, most guys, I don't know what the voters look at, because I'm not a voter. We don't get to vote. The existing Hall of Famers don't get to vote. But I look at guys who go in and see where they're at with their all pros and all that stuff. And he's been all pro. Does it give him more credibility with the voters? I think it does, because how many guys can be retired for 4 years and then come in and play if he plays at a high level?
Yes.
And he comes up and carves up a couple defense. And if he carves up Houston, which is one of the best defenses in the National Football League, then I think the voters are going to be like, man, this dude he was good when he played, but he came back and with a 4-year hiatus and came back in and played at a high level. So I think that gives him some credibility. I don't think it'll hurt him if he plays not to the level he had before he retired.
All right, Rod, we're going to stay on here for another 20 minutes. I'm going to go just slow rapid fire, if there is that, on the games that are coming up, because it's week 15. And as I'll get to the standings and mix this in, the interesting thing about the standings as we sit here tonight is there's a lot of teams that need help now. And I want to start with Kansas City. Their recent loss, we haven't seen them in this situation. So the Kansas City Chiefs are currently at 6-7. They've lost 2 in a row. They have to run the table to get in, and they need some help. They need a Charger loss, a Ravens or Steelers loss, because there's only one team out of the North, as you know. It's going to be the Ravens or the Steelers. The other team is not going to get a wild card, but maybe. So Kansas City is in the wild card hunt. Here's what they got. Chargers at home, where they're the favorite, at the Titans, Broncos at home, and at the Raiders. So we're going to give them at the Raiders and at the Titans. That gives them to 8 wins. I'll give them the Chargers. That gives them to 9. And then they get the Broncos at home, which, if they get that, that's 10. So for Kansas City, do you think the way they're playing after their 2 losses in a row to the Cowboys and the Texans, they could win 4 in a row?
I don't think they can. They just don't seem like they have that same offensively. And the defense has been very inconsistent. A lot of the teams that we thought they were going to just be the powerhouses this year just hasn't played up to what we thought they were going to be before the season started. And I think Kansas City is one of those guys. Can they win 4 in a row? Yeah, they could, because they still got Patrick Mahomes, and their defense is still a solid defense. Just can they do it against those teams? That's the question. And I mean, we know the Chargers beat them already. And going against Denver, which is a good, young, fast defense, it's a tough task. It's an uphill battle. And on top of that, they need help. So can they rally the troops? Yeah, I mean, they could probably, just for the fact they got Patrick Mahomes, but I just don't know if they're going to do it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think,
like I have in the past, I just don't know if I have that same belief in the Kansas City Chiefs this year than they had in the past several years.
Well, you've been on Carolina on the right side all year. Now they're 7-6. Percentage-wise, they're behind Tampa Bay with the same record because of tiebreakers. So Tampa Bay, we'll start with them December 11th, Thursday. So as we record this, their game's coming up. Buccaneers aren't going to lose to the Falcons at home, right? I mean, this is like crunch time for Baker, who was great the first 5 weeks. He was the MVP with Stafford. So I'm going to say they're only a 4.5-point favorite in this game. It's tighter than I thought, but Bucks got to take care of business here, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they've been inconsistent the last several games. Talking about the Bucks and Atlanta. I don't know what happened to Atlanta this year. They haven't played. They're a shell of themselves. So I would be extremely surprised if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost to the Atlanta Falcons this week. It would blow my mind. I think Baker still has a lot left in his tank this season. I think he can still make that miraculous plays for his team, because they need him to play well. When Baker plays well, it's hard to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though the running game is starting to get going.
All right, next one. Bears are going for their 10th win over the Browns. 2-parter here. I think we both think the Bears will win this game at home. They're calling it one of the coldest games. It'll be 10 degrees at kickoff, wind chill below 0. A lot of people are going to tune into this game and see if Myles Garrett can get the sack record. And what I'm asking you specifically, because Caleb likes to run around and extend the play, does this help Myles Garrett get an extra sack this game?
Absolutely. I mean, Myles Garrett's going to break the sack record. Just when is he going to do it?
Yeah.
Is it going to be this week? It's going to happen this year. That's not even a question. And, you know, when Caleb Williams getting out of the pocket as much as he does, and he likes to hold on to the ball when he is scrambling, does that help Myles Garrett? Absolutely. Do the Bears win? Yes. I think the Bears win, but I think Myles Garrett has his day. I think he gets maybe 2 sacks, 2.5.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. You'll be in Cincinnati, Ravens, Bengals. What would have been interesting, Bengals had the Bills beat. I mean, Josh Allen was great in the fourth quarter. If the Bengals would have won that game, the Bengals record would have been 5-8 going up against the 6-7 Ravens. Changes the look of this game a little bit. I think the Bengals are dead now. No way they can come back from 4-9. But is this kind of like their Super Bowl now? They're going out and they get the Ravens, their rival, at home. What's that atmosphere going to be like, Rod?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's going to be cold there too. The coldest game that we're going to be at, I think it's like 16 degrees with the wind chill of like 5 to 0 degrees. So it's going to be a little nippy. But, you know, anytime you play inside the division, you know this, JT, anytime you play inside the division, they're always tough games. And they're always fun games. So they played them a couple weeks ago. Cincy beat them. And if I'm the Ravens, man, you have to win out. That's not even a question. Are you talking about Kansas City? The Ravens definitely have to win out. That's the only way they get the probability of a tiebreaker with the Steelers somewhere along the line, if they can finish. And you got to hope the Steelers stub their toe somewhere along the line. But they have to win out. It's going to be a fun game. I think for Cincinnati, it seems like Cincinnati got a little bit better, even on defense, when Joe Burrow stepped back on the field, even though he doesn't play on defense.
Right, the Bills, I'll put everything on the line here. Bills lost at home to the Patriots. They're going into New England. They're going to slaughter the Patriots. I'm throwing that out there now. Vrabel's done a great job. They beat them in Buffalo. They get them at home. Patriots are 11-2. There's no chance the Bills are losing this game. They are going on that short trip. They are rolling. That's my Super Bowl pick, as you know.
But they're going to slaughter them?
They are going to beat them by double digits on the road. I got this game. It's my stone cold lead pipe lock, because this is where I expected Buffalo to get on their roll. And once they get on the roll, I think it takes them all the way to Santa Clara and the Super Bowl. I'm probably going to be wrong because they've been flawed, but Patriots are an underdog at home to the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, the last week game was just crazy for the Bills. I mean, it's like, how does the whole defense turn their head and don't see the biggest quarterback in the National Football League running down the field for a touchdown? Like, how do you do that? Like, that's like saying, okay, it's 5 seconds into the play, I'm not going to turn my head at all and look. Nobody looked. Everybody just let him go down the field. So, you know, if the Pats do that, yes, it will be a blowout. I just don't see it because I just think Vrabel, he has a tough, gritty team. They're well taught. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're playing at home. It's a divisional game. And most divisional games, when you have 2 good teams, aren't normally blowouts. They're normally close games because you know what they are. So I think the Bills can win, yes, because if they can get those turnovers like they got the last couple weeks, yes, it gives them opportunity. But the way the Pats have played this year, they've played solid football on offense and defense, special teams. They've done, I mean, Vrabel could be coach of the year. They've done an outstanding job for year 1 under a new head coach.
All right. This is a question I've been dying to ask you. A big term I'm hearing now that I didn't hear 20 years ago when you played. Business decisions. Jaden Daniels, this is a business decision now. He's been hurt badly a couple of times, and he's not going to play in this Giants game, but come on, shut him down for next year. When a player gets cleared to play, if Jaden Daniels can come back to play, do you play him, Rod, for the competitive balance of the sport, or do you have to look at this young player and protect him for next year?
Man, this is the question since I'm not in the locker room. I'm not in the building. Does he want to play and the coaches are shutting him down? Or he doesn't want to play, but the coaches want to shut him down anyway? That, to me, is difference. Like, to me, if I'm just an old school guy, right? I'm an old school guy where you're going to go out there with your boys. You want to play with your boys. Irrelevant if the games don't have any meaning. It's irrelevant where your season's at and what your record is. I want to go out there and partake with my fellas weekly. Do they protect their franchise quarterback? That's the question. And I mean, if I'm them, I get it. But the bigger picture is for everybody else who are going out there to play. Every other player, we're telling them, you're not valuable like he is. You go out there and play, but he's our future. And listen, I like him. I like him a lot. But to make that statement and split the room, making that statement is, I don't know how to build a team around that.
Yeah, let's go to the Raiders and the Eagles. Raiders don't have much to play for. Interesting stat. Pete Carroll's 8-0 lifetime against Philadelphia. Let that sink in.
I know that.
8-0 lifetime against Philadelphia. So that tells you how good Seattle was for how long. And Philadelphia before this Sirianni run wasn't that good. But man, that you listen, you're involved. The noise in Philly's real. What are you seeing with Jalen Hurts? 5 turnovers. The first player since 1978 to fumble twice on one play. He throws a pick, gets the ball back, fumbles, doesn't throw a touchdown, Rod, on Monday Night Football, and throws the game-losing interception. Do you think they're in trouble here, or Sirianni and Hurts can fix this thing?
I tell you what, the pick he threw in the middle of the field, 10 yards down the field to the linebacker, I mean, that's like, how do you not see the linebacker? I just don't know if he's injured, but I don't even know what he's looking at when he's making throws. And that, to me, is a little worrisome if I'm the Eagles and Eagles fans and Eagles faithful. And he doesn't look like the same player as last year. I don't know if it's an injury. I don't know if it's mental. I'm not exactly sure, but it's something going on with him. And he is not playing he's not playing anywhere near what he did last year. And on top of that, Barkley isn't running like he did last year consistently, because he was going for 125 a game, and he's not even close to that.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to get Barkley going. Just like I said with Josh Allen, the Eagles want to get Barkley really rolling now, heading into the postseason and the cold weather. We like the Jags over the Jets. One thing about the Jags, this win at home against the Jets will give them their 10th win. And they were struggling a little bit. Mid-season, we were like, well, are they going sideways like the Colts? They're in a good spot. Cardinals are at the Texans. The Texans are a heavy favorite in this game. They should get their 9th win. And just big picture, you played on one of the greatest defenses of all time with your Super Bowl Ravens. What do you like about the Texans when you see them now, just from the D-line to the scheme? I mean, they got 2 edge rushes that could take your head off. 2, not 1.
Yeah. The edge rushers. So, I mean, when you look at defenses, you're looking – the pass rush helps the secondary. The secondary, which is solid, helps the pass rush because they can cover on the back end. So, I mean, they work hand in hand. But, I mean, the edge rushers that the Houston Texans have, I mean, they can get after the quarterback. And that allows the defensive backs and linebackers to jump some routes, to jump some plays, to make plays on the ball, because they know quarterbacks aren't going to hold the ball for 5 seconds. Like, you hold it for 5 seconds, they're getting sacked. So I think I love the team. I love how they were inconsistent for a couple weeks in the middle of the season, and now they're just starting to bloom, and they're starting to look like the team we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year on offense and defense. But that defense can get at it in the secondaries, the corners. Petrie, did you see that hit last week?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's old school football right there. I mean, that was a hit right there, man. I didn't think my man was going to get up.
Let's move to the Packers Broncos. Packers a favorite in Denver. Wow. What does that tell you? So the Broncos have 11 wins. The Packers are 9-3-1. I picked the Packers as my NFC team. This is a test for me because they still got some business. The Broncos are trying to stay ahead of New England. So the game
Right.
means a lot for both teams. I just think the Packers are a better team than the Broncos, but you played in Denver. You had one of your greatest games ever for the
Yep.
Raiders in Denver. What's that going to be like, Micah Parsons trying to chase down Bo Nix in that altitude in mid-December, Rod?
You know what? I like Denver in this game. I
You
know
do.
Green Bay has
Okay.
played well recently, but they haven't faced a defense like this. Talking about the Green Bay Packers offense. I mean, these
Hmm.
young dudes can get at it. We talk about Houston. That this defense, they got edge rushers, they got guys in the secondary, they got one of the best corners in the National Football League in Sertan. They got players across the board. So, what I like about Bo Nix is that yes, he's inconsistent throughout the game, right? And then in the fourth quarter, when it really matters, he has like this one good drive or two good drives, and he gets them over the top, and they win the football game. I mean, that's what I like about the young player, that he doesn't get rattled, and he plays to his defense. Which, hey, I get it because I'm a defensive guy, so I understand it. But I like the Broncos in this one. I just think Green Bay coming in there, playing at that altitude. I mean, I'm hoping they come in a day and a half early, or you come in late and you don't let that altitude kind of get to your body. But it's going to be cold, so they're used to that. But I just think they don't play against defenses that look like the Denver Broncos defense that often in the NFC.
Playoffs started right now, Detroit would be out. They'd be out of the last wild card. So the Rams would be the 1 seed, Green Bay, the 2, Philly, then Tampa. Your wild cards are Seattle, San Francisco, Chicago, then Detroit. I bring this up because Detroit's in LA after Rams. All right, you want to talk about a must-win game, and you're playing arguably the best team in all of the NFL.
Yeah.
Give me something to look at in this game, Rod, with the Lions and this Dan Campbell energy they have. Goff playing in LA for the beginning part of his career, going up against Stafford in LA. This is a hell of a ball game.
Yeah, this is what I would say. I'm looking. How does the Rams defense play against Jared Goff? Because you let Jared Goff have some clean feet, Jared Goff he'll carve any defense up in the National Football League if you give him a clean feet. Because he's a true play. He's an old school under the center type of quarterback. Play pass shots. He loves the deep in cut when he does his little play pass. He does love that. So for me, if the Rams defense can make him have happy feet and make him hold on to the ball longer than he wants to, or throw it before his true rhythm, or finding his second or third feet, that's going to be a long day for me for the Detroit. Now, if they can run with football, now if they can run with Gibbs and Montgomery, because that's what when they're really good, they're running the football extremely well with that one-two punch, and Golf is play action passing off. That's when that offense is at its best. So if the Rams defense can slow the run game down and put them in more passing situations, I like the Rams.
I was expecting that from you on saying that about the running game at Detroit. That the running game gives them a chance
Yes.
if they run it really well and can control the ball. So the Panthers are at the Saints. It could be a sneaky game because the Panthers are only a 2.5 point favorite on the road. But let's assume they're going to win that. Niners get the Titans. Oh my God, how do the Niners have this schedule? I mean, oh come, you. This is nut cutting time, and the
Uh,
Niners get the Titans at home with that last play. The Giants' schedule is so much tougher, and the Titans go to San Francisco. They'll win that game. You covered Colts and Steelers. I don't think the Colts with Rivers or not can win that one, but Vikings, Cowboys. Cowboys got to win out too. Same boat, Rod, as Kansas City. They need Philadelphia to lose, and they've got to win out. And you and I have been talking for about a month on how much better the Cowboys have been.
yeah, I mean, I believe in the Cowboys offense. Defense, I don't know. They're so inconsistent. I don't know what to believe with those guys, right? They play halfway decent, then they don't for a quarter. But the offense can score. And the question is, when you're going against the Minnesota Vikings, the creativity that they have on the defensive side, if they can score early and put the Minnesota in a bad spot and make them throw the football, then I think the advantage goes to the Dallas Cowboys. But I like the Dallas Cowboys overall. I just think that they can score against any defense in the National Football League this year. They've played pretty good football. Defensively, they've been inconsistent, but I think they'll be consistent enough against this offense against Minnesota to win the game.
Last game, Dolphins at Steelers. I can't wait to talk to you about this. I had Mike McDaniel, dead man walking. I mean, after a game, I thought Stephen Ross came down. He came down from the owner's box to the field. I thought he was going to fire him on the field. And I'm serious, or after the locker room. I haven't seen one. This is the team this year that fought to save their coach. And I don't know if it's going to be enough. If the Dolphins win this game, they're 7-7 and really in the hunt. I don't think they can. And I don't think Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers went into Baltimore to win, to come home and lose to the Dolphins. Pittsburgh's only a 3-point favorite. You get 3 for being at home, Rod. What am I missing here? Do the Dolphins have a puncher's chance to keep this game close?
Because Pittsburgh's defense hasn't been Pittsburgh's defense this year, right? So they've been inconsistent. I mean, really, the offense has been inconsistent with Aaron Rodgers. They haven't been throwing the deep ball. They got it last week against the Ravens. The defense has been inconsistent, where teams have been running against them and throwing the deep ball against them. But you're playing in Pittsburgh. You're playing a cold weather team, and you got to hope it's cold. So you got this warm weather team coming up to the cold. Their hands are going to be cold. So I mean, I like the Steelers in this one just for the fact when you live in I don't know what the weather is right now in Miami. What is it, 70 degrees somewhere in that area? I mean, they're going to go up to about 5 degrees, 10 degrees, and they're going to start getting hit. The ball's harder, the ground is harder when it's cold. So to me, they live in that environment. They're ready for that environment. Talking about the Steelers, I like the Steelers on that one. But what I do like is what McDaniels has done over the last several weeks. They have played for their head coach to get him and keep him on board, and not to have him get fired. Don't know if it's going to be enough, but you like how they rallied the troops for him.
So I always want to end it with an anecdote or a story about your Hall of Fame career, and it just hit me, the weather. Fort Wayne, Indiana, you played at Purdue in the cold, you played in cold weather cities. Was it just something you knew? Like, you weren't a guy that had to sit down and be taught by a coach, hey, it's going to be cold Sunday, it's Thursday, I need to get your head together. But you were a mentor to a lot of young players. Give me a story where you went outside for practice and you looked at a young rookie and said, hey, Rook, this is what you signed up for. Get ready. How do young players get ready for winter football in extreme conditions if they haven't been brought up that way?
Well, I'm going to give you 2 stories. One was a player, one of the DBs that came with us and with the Steelers. He had so much gear on that he couldn't even run. He looked like a robot. He was like running down. I was like, dude, put one layer on, put Vaseline on first, put a layer of clothes on, a small layer of clothes, thin layer of clothes, and then put your uniform on and go play. And then this go out there and enjoy yourself, because you're going to be warm. Now, we didn't have the heated seats and all that junk back in the day. So it was like you had the coats and that was it. So that was one. Secondly, we had a coach named Rod Rust, and God rest his soul. He passed away several years ago. But Rod Rust, because it's a different cold in Pittsburgh, because the wind is blowing off the Three Rivers and the point right there, right? And it's coming through the stadium and kind of swirls. I remember Rod Rust, and that was back then when coaches were smoking on the sideline. He didn't have a coat on. I was like, Coach, are you sure you don't want to have a coat on out here? Because the wind whipping inside the stadium is a little different. He was like, I don't need a coat. It's about third quarter. He's trying to light his cigarette and he's shaking. And we had to grab his hands, get the matches, get the match lit, and light the cigarette for him and said, "You're going to have a coat on from now on." And he had a coat on from then on. But it just seeing a guy who been around forever freezing in the sideline as a coach, that was like, that was different right there.
Everybody, do us a favor, hit the like button, please subscribe, Lay in the Wood, wherever you are, share it too. Make sure everybody gets a copy of this podcast. We've had a great time doing it. We got several more left, including the playoffs, the Super Bowl, where we're going to do something. Rod, safe travels. You said it's cold weather football. I know your wife knows how to help you pack, and you know how to pack. And we'll see you when you get back next week, okay?
All right, I'll see you.
Everybody, that's the great Rod Woodson. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back for week 16 on Lay in the Wood.